Hey guys, welcome back to Tack and Track. I'm Brad, and today we're going to be starting our gear segment where we're going to talk about plate carriers, helmets, and other related gear. We're also going to talk about a few scopes, sights, and some stuff like that. So today we're going to be starting with the G11 Night Vision mount. We're going to be putting that on our Hardhead Veterans helmet here. We also have an ATN NVG7-3 night vision setup that we're going to be looking at to go with our helmet and with our mount. We also have another ATN product coming up. We've got this ATN X-Sight 4K Pro that we've had for quite a while. We're going to be bringing that out and talking about that a little bit later too. But today we're just going to be focused on the night vision mount, what comes in the box, as well as the night vision, and we'll test this a little bit more in detail later. Today we're just going to be looking at what comes with it. So let's get started with the mount. And I haven't opened up any of this yet, so you guys are going to see it with me for the first time. So in the bottom of the box here, 2 Allens as to be expected. And then we've got the mount with all of its adjustments in it. So we're going to set that aside for just a second to mount onto our helmet just a little bit. And let's take a look at this guy. So if you haven't looked at night vision before, it's expensive. So do a little bit of homework. It also becomes near overwhelming when you're trying to figure out what to buy. I mean, it really, there's a lot of information here. And it can get super expensive very, very quick. So let's take a look at this little guy because this is a reasonably priced setup. I'll put exactly the price down here for us so we can all see it. But just under $3 grand. So let's take a look at this guy. Alright, so down here in the bottom of the box, we've got a owner's manual and user's guide, and this box is nice foam lined that should have protected it in a trip. The other really nice thing here is this is coming in a bag that you can later put it back in if you ever take it off your helmet. For me, most of the time on the helmet, I'll be running a GoPro mount, which I've got our GoPro mount upstairs. We'll talk about that because we're running a competition a little bit later this month. You may actually see the competition footage before you see this, but we're going to be mounting the GoPro that we're filming on now on top of the helmet so you can get some first-person shots that way. So let's pop this guy open here, see what we have. All right, so first of all, we have this little guy. And this is, if you're not running a helmet, this is kind of a setup for you to mount your night vision to. Now this is something that we may also use some. We won't use it for the night vision, we'll mount that to the helmet. But this will work really well for us as an auxiliary GoPro mount too. So this will be nice for us if you're running a helmet. This really isn't going to do much for you, but it does come with it. So if you don't want to spend the money and invest in a helmet like this Hardhead Veterans helmet here, you don't have to do that. However, we'll talk about this helmet in detail, and I encourage you guys to go check out the video on that. I really think the helmet's worth the money, especially if you have the ability to throw down on night vision, spend the extra little bit of change, and get a helmet to go with it. So we've got the night vision mount if you're not going to mount it to a helmet. And we have a mount for the night vision itself. So we've got 2 mounts. We'll talk about both of them. We've got the Wilcox here and the mount that actually came with the night vision. and we'll compare both of those in a separate video and talk about those. Also included in the packaging here is, of course, what we all came to see. Nice, comes with battery, didn't expect that. So inside of here, we have the actual night vision setup itself. Now, this is a single tube, but will allow use with both eyes. This is a compromise. You can get monoculars that are single tube for one eye. You can get these guys that's a single tube for two eyes, or you can get binoculars, and if money is absolutely no object, you can get the quads too. Those are super expensive. So we've got this. It also comes on a little lanyard here, so you can use it as a pair of binoculars if you wanted to. So let's go ahead and start playing with this guy. I'm going to mount it up on the helmet. We'll come back. We'll talk about the two different mounts, the one that came with it and the Wilcox, in a separate video, and then we'll do a full review on this guy. Also know we're going to be doing a review on plate carriers. We've got several of these. The Hardhead Veterans helmet. We've also going to do a how-to video on how to mount these cheap hearing protections to any helmet. We're obviously doing it on the Hardhead Veterans helmet, but you can literally do the same kind of step process on any of the helmets. And we'll talk about 2 or 3, maybe 4 different plate carriers. We will also be talking about a few IR lasers. This one in particular right here is the Olight. I know Olight's a little bit of a pariah, but we're going to test it out. We're going to see what we think of it, because to be honest with you, I've had really good experiences with Olights so far. So we'll take a look at those as well as plate carriers. So stay tuned for some of those. Like always, guys, thanks for checking us out here on Tack and Track. Don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much. So we said we were going to do a long-term review on the ATN Night Vision. Well, we're still going to do a long-term review on a ATN Night Vision. We're going to use the PVS-14. And the reason being is the tube is clear, very few imperfections in the tube, but the vision, what you actually see, is really, really difficult with the 2 viewports and the single tube. It almost looks like there is a wall in the middle, and then you've got these kind of rounded edges that you would expect from night vision. But it's very, very difficult, very disorienting to try and use. And I decided it's not something that I even want to hold on to long enough to do a long-term review. I know this isn't something that I want or that I'd recommend. So we've got an ATN PVS-14 coming in. And that may be something that works a little bit better for us. Also, when we're doing that, we'll finish up and do a review on the Wilcox mount that we've got for that. But the single tube, 2 viewports, they just did not work for me. And it wasn't something that I wanted, and it wasn't something I'd recommend. And at the price point of one of those units, it's not anything that I would recommend to anybody buying. So we've got the ATN PVS-14 because I've had some really good history with ATN. I like ATN as a company. We've still got the ATN X-Sight 4 Pro review coming up, and we're going to have a review on the ATN PVS-14. So stay tuned, check that out. I hate that this didn't work out, but that's kind of part of it. And fortunately, we did this with Midway. No problems in the return process. So it's nice to go ahead and have that out of there and have another product coming that I think will work better for us. So stay tuned and check out that PVS-14 review that we've got coming up for you. Thanks for checking us out today on Tack and Track.